Morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 133 of that journey, and it's kind of a short one today. It's just as well. It's called The News. The News, right? Tonight, when you watch the news, if you watch the news, tonight, if you watch the news, please pay attention to the truth about the ego and its dark demands and wake up to the fact that we are being led to think, speak, and act on these demands outside of us. The news demands our constant reaction. Reaction. Well, reaction lies where? In the ego, right? Response is, well, if I continue to watch this stuff forever, I will just be, so disgusted and lost that I have no life of my own. You can get lost in it. You can get lost in that, okay? In the negativity. And it just brings you down, brings your whole psyche down. And you're just, you think it's just this exciting circus that's going on out there. But man, when is that serving the people? The truth is the part that serves the people. So we have to see through the circus, see it for what it is, and say, all right, come on, enough is enough. We have to move together. We have to become unified. The only way this world ever becomes unified is when we understand the difference between the ego and who we really are. Okay, because then the masks are off. The mask can come off. Now, yeah, you've been playing the part of a jerk. Yeah, that's a hard mask to take off, right? No doubt. But in order for us to live a fulfilled life, a beautiful life, and one that we can leave behind the beauty, we got to take that mask off, and just live true, authentically from who we really are. Okay, which is here to serve, here to help. That's the energy the spirit moves from. That's the energy that the truest part of us is, that unconditional love, right? And we all know the conditions of the ego. Lots of them. Lots and lots. So it's just expansive. It's whether we want to be contracted in fear, stuck in it, watching it, our gaze stuck on it like it's some kind of hypnosis thing that we have to watch, or we free ourselves, or we choose the truth, and learn to listen for our own personal guidance. Not from the tube, but from within. From within, you can see what they're all saying, and you can see it's just a big, ugly, sickening game. Sickening. It is. It's made so many of us sick. The whole thing, because it's just based on greed, and the news just props it up. Like, here's the show, and sure, it is just. It's like the Maury Povich show, or one of those ones that are just it's just so bad you can't take your eyes off of. Wow, what mind control is that? That's sending us all into negative town, so that the uppers can just go, let them eat cake, while we live in the mansions and all that stuff. Come on, we're all souls. It's not Lord of the Flies here. It has been Lord of the Flies, but it's not meant to be Lord of the Flies. We're meant to bring what we know to be true here. And how do we know what's true? Here. And you get to know that. And that is your relationship with the light. That's an actual relationship with the light, is the alignment of saying, what is the light saying? What is that light? What would the light do? And the light's sitting there watching TV going, oh, come on, kids. It's time to round up this little ugly play, isn't it? This little ugly play. You guys you've forgotten who you are. Just like the Lion King. You have forgotten who you are. Boom. Remember who you are. You are the light. You're it. So no more acting like a victim. No more giant, long-ass pity parties. No more martyrdom. Okay? If you're going to do it short and go, wait, this is not who I am. I forgot. Oh, yeah, right. I'm the light that can get up and giddy up and get going and do what's best. How can I serve my life in the best way? And everything that's included in that life, my relationships, And what I do in everything is you bring that and you put that, infuse that into it all as the foundation of it all, as your calling card, as your main calling card. You know, listen, we all have an ego, and we can be taken off our game. There's no question. Absolutely, in this world, that's the easiest place to fall, is into negativity. Like I always say, it's the easiest. You know, hatred is easy. Love, yeah, try and love thy enemy. Well, here's the thing: pray for thy enemy that they see the light, they recognize it, so we can end the stupidity within each of us, end the ignorance, drop that veil of ignorance, so we can all see, oh my God, there's so much more to us. There's so much more to you that you didn't know, right? So much more in there. So that inner journey is really why you've come. You get to experience all the stuff in the outside world in the land of 10,000 things. That's what the Lao Tzu, famous Chinese philosopher born 2,000 years before the birth of Jesus. You know, nature doesn't hurry. Everything is accomplished. All of that great stuff. So many great philosophers out there. The Stoics, they were awesome. Marcus Aurelius. Lots of great information out there for you to learn and seek and say, well, if I listen to what we teach in school and college and on TV, oh man, well, I'm just going to become a product. I'm going to become a product of that matrix rather than, you know, being that beautiful light bearer that you came here to help others find a new way within themselves and within your own self. Came to expand, and in your expansion, you will inspire many to just live their dreams and give it a whirl, and leave the world of can't do, you know, pressure down, victimhood, you know, all that stuff. Nah, garbage. It's garbage. All right. So here goes the news. The news demands our constant reaction and judgment, which keeps us arguing instead of collaborating and actual solving of things. You know, that our system is not meant to solve it. You're just meant to win, and then, you know, treat your side to all the goodies of the tax base. We all know that's true. That's ridiculous. What a horrible system. And all the money that they've stolen. My God, we should have no taxes. There should be no taxation at this point. We see where all the money's going every place else. So it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Okay. And this is the only way we can change this place, is to end the corruption, end the bullshit, and realize that we've all been bullshitted for a long, long time, much longer than we've been alive, much longer. All right. This is war constantly raging in the background of our minds. You know, you're always thinking that what's going on today? Oh man, like those people are, you know, the whole thing. My God, we're stuck in the story. They stick us in the story, and we get stuck in that story instead of creating our own, instead of just concentrating on creating our own and benefiting the world in a light-filled story. In a light-filled story. Do that. Do that. You know, turn your gaze away from that and fulfill your purpose. Fulfill your purpose. You know, truth. It's got to be truthful purpose. It'll be in there. It was given to you as a gift. All right. You'll know it when you feel it. You'll know it when you feel it. And it'll be here. It'll be here. And sometimes it can feel scary at first for you taking that leap into that new part of yourself and allowing others to see it. Allowing others to see it. You know, like I've always said, I grew up in Troy, the ball busting capital of the planet. And my friends are the biggest ones of them. So when I wrote this book, they started seeing my posts on Facebook that are all this spiritual stuff. They're going, what the heck are you doing? But I'll tell you, man, I'm just living true. I'm living to that truth. I'm living to that truth. And it has never served me wrong. Has never served me wrong. You know, my ego may think it's serving me wrong sometimes, but I have to trust that. And I have to trust that voice that I've learned inside is the one that has given me the most truth in life. That loving voice. It's smaller. It's not the loud clanging one that says, fight everybody, fight them. You know what I mean? all this other stuff. And you got to worry about what they think, and you got to worry about what they're doing, and blah, 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 blah. Yuck, 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 yuck. Boy, I'll tell you what, when you take back all your power, all that love to yourself, and you've been, instead of blasting the world with that negative mindset that the news helps us to cultivate, that news is helping us to cultivate a shitty garden. It really is. When you tend to your own garden, that garden is just, all right, I want to raise up into a more conscious level of living. And that stuff is just the fast food of the ego. It's fast food for the ego. It's the news. Yeah, you can be informed and you can see some of the stuff that's really, all the cracks are opening up now, aren't they? And the shit is hitting the fan because the truth is coming out. The truth is coming out, and we have to see it. We have to see it in order for us to go, okay, as one family, enough is enough. This has been like tomfoolery behind the curtains, just telling us all who our enemies are for centuries. So, we go and kill for that, for those ideas and stories that people tell us, those narratives. So the truth is so important. If we ever want to end war and become unified, it's the place that we're from, the heaven that we're from, then we have to listen to the heaven within, and it's there. And if you give that your time, and you gave that your hour of attention every day, instead of watching what they want you to spit out, your life will change. Your life will change, and you will be a change agent for this planet. You'll be a change agent. You just turned your light on, and you said, I've had enough of that shit. I've had enough of it. I've had enough. I've ingested enough of it, and your ego can find that so delicious that it's just hatred is you wake up in the morning going, I hate that side and I hate that person. And it's, you don't realize that's your subconscious in there. So that's going to help carry those words out of you every day, and your actions and everything else. So you're self-sabotaging from somebody else's narrative instead of living your own, listened to and guided by the truth. Guided by the truth. It's all packed in there before we leave home. The truth is packed in there because that's who we really are. We're just embodying a costume that houses that truth, but it also houses the heaviness of this place. The heaviness is the gravity of this place, and the things that can take our minds away from what is true, from that gravity and that denseness and that dense energy of this place, that lower energy. We can lose ourselves in that. And unless we take the wheel of our lives and decide to be guided by the light that we are, well, then it's a rough ride. It's a rough, rough ride. And you're not riding in your own favor. And that's where you want to be. So it is responsibility. It is accountability. It is. But it's accountability in the best way. Being true to your highest self is going to bring back to your doorstep more love than you've ever known. More symbols of that in many different ways. That energy prospers you in so many different ways. And when you need it, it's there because you've embodied it. You're part of it. And you swim in that pool, that deeper pool where the depth and the compassion lives, and all of the higher tools that are actually our deepest tools of understanding and seeking to understand rather than just taking up the sword and shield of the ego that's just constant defenses. Well, what are we defending? Are we defending the shell? Or are we just letting the soul come forward and say, let's just get beyond this shit, okay? I just want what's real. I want what's real. So you have to cultivate that garden, the garden of truth. And you can do that a lot better when you're reading better things, you're ingesting better things, because good stuff in, good stuff out. And when you understand what the good stuff is and the stuff that feeds your ego, you're going to go on a different diet. You're going to fast from that. You're going to fast from that darkness to let the light in. And it's rejuvenating. That's why you go out in nature and you don't listen and you're not scrolling and you're not doing those things. You give yourself that time, that peaceful time to cultivate that peace. Well, you're going to start resonating with it. And that stuff is going to seem like static and noise that disrupts what's real, disrupts what's true, well, bingo. That's the whole plan, to disrupt what's true from coming forth in each of us. Disruption, like, 5G, you know, man, you don't understand what they know. They know it so much longer than we do. AI, we think that's just coming out now for us, but that's been out for a long, long time. And so you got to question everything in this environment. You do. But the closer you move to your light, the more you hear that truth, the more you'll know just what to say and do and what not to do. Most importantly, what not to do, where not to be, and what to give your time and attention to. It becomes much more selective and much more important, because you're calling back your power, and now you're selective about where you're using it and what you're giving from it and what you're no longer giving from the lower self. You're no longer giving from that. You're giving from your higher place. So your world's going to change. Your world will change. That's taking account. That's saying the words and my actions are going to match. My words and my actions are going to match. If I say I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it. If I say I'll be there on that time, man, unless it's an emergency, I'm not going to keep making excuses. I'm going to be there on that time, because that's just, being great to the other person. Respecting the other person's time, because all we have is that we have a short stint. So bring that peace, that love, that unity, and that respect. People that deserve that respect. Everybody deserves that respect until they don't. So you go in with that, and then you see from there, you can see where people live and the lanes that they fly in and all that other stuff. And then you just know where to fly from there. So you become, you have more discernment, less judgment, more discernment. Nope, that's fine for you. Great. I wish you the well. I wish you well on your journey. Peace, love, unity, respect. I'm on my way. I'm focused on my path. Do that, and watch what happens. Okay? We must take God up on his offer to truly live. Give everyone you see a smile, a compliment, encouragement, and praise. Just push those in there instead of going, you see what was on last night? You see those sons of bitches? You see the narratives? We just become the narrative instead of reaching in our heart and saying, what's better than that? What actually serves? Light. The light serves. Tell those close to you that you love them and appreciate the role in your life. This is the act and the art of taking up the offer. This is the act and the art of being your true self. All right? It's an art form here. When you're home, it's just known. But when you're here, boy, the real art form is to take your experiences, both, dark and light, balance those out, recognize what has brought you the best things in life, and give those and discard what no longer belongs. Discard it. Bring in what works, use what works, discard what no longer belongs. Stay open to new ways of making the stuff that works, because that's just going to expand, and you're going to have a formula for yourself that is really good, because the formula is just co-creating with the divine. All right? Thoughts, words, and deeds. The more you do this, the better your life will become. Wake up a little more each day with your own God-given power. The day that we have a leader who wants to wake us all up to our true personal power and unify, will be the day the world begins to truly change for the best. And I'll be the first one to volunteer for that person's campaign. It's not about some of us. It's about all of us. This is how we create heaven on earth. This is it. The truth. The truth is how we create heaven on earth. We can't live in the lies that our government and all that other shit around the world has just been doing to the detriment of the whole for centuries. We all know it. We all see it now. So we all know our role. Our role is to rise. Our role is to rise to this occasion and not languish in the old ways, but bring forth the new ways and live in this personal space of what we see that heaven on earth could be, what it could be. Speak from that higher dimension that it's already within yourself on how you speak to people. Kindness is your way, just general kindness. It's not like you're Charlemagne. You're just out there, basic human kindness, humanity. The best humanity is when you're using your spirit to animate. It's already animating this, but give that spirit of yours as your highest gift while you're here. Okay. And that means just pour out. You're pouring into other cups, and those cups will pour back, and they will pour back. And it's the way it should be anyway. Circle of love. Okay. That's it, guys, today. You know what to do. Go out and do your part today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Much love.